everybody on?
Yeah, we're on something.
We're on something, all right. So let's get started. Thank you for asking me to do this. A little bit nervous, a little bit, because so many people, those online, those that aren't here, those that are here have a lot of experience, maybe more experience than me. So I always think it's good when I teach classes, which is usually a permit class, but I like my classes to be interactive, right? I like people to ask questions. I like people to share their experiences and their thoughts because we all can learn from each other. So I don't want to just stand up here and talk. You guys will get tired of listening to me anyway, so. And we have lots of pastries left over there, so go ahead and help yourself. Now.
Jamie, when you clicked on something else, click away from that. So.
There we go. Win with Sellers. That's me.
Hey!
Hey! It's the only animation you're getting today for me. When we're working with sellers, we have to really think about the psychology, what they're thinking, how they're feeling, right? So sellers really crave clarity and control. When they're selling a home, it's a big decision. It's not just making a business decision, right? It's making a life decision. Decisions come with emotions. So sellers want clarity. They want to know what's going to happen. They want to know what comes next. They want to know what they need to do. They also want that sense of control. And even if they don't use that control, they at least want to know that they have that option to have some control. So when it comes to working with sellers, I've found that the calmer that I am, the more control I am of myself, that makes them calmer, right? They can trust in me. I'm not in a panic mode, right? So I don't know if you can read that online, folks that are on Zoom, but we are the emotional thermostat in a transaction. If we stay calm, the seller will trust the process. If we panic, question ourselves, or seem uncertain things, then they become very uneasy and start not feeling good about us and what we're doing for them and trying to help them.
Pam?
Yes?
I really like the thermostat point, and I don't know that everybody has heard that analogy, the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat, where a thermometer measures the temperature in a room, but a thermostat is what actually controls the temperature.
Yes.
And so I see you're saying there, being the emotional thermostat, you're the one who's kind of has the control. I mean, there's other mechanisms that go into it, but you're the one who's saying, we're gonna ratchet this up, we're gonna ratchet this down,
right,
versus just being in the room and going, this is a little crazy, or what have you.
Yeah.
The emotional part is all
emotional
in
part is huge.
you
It's huge.
manipulating that process.
So that leads to what our tone is throughout the process, and our tone really matters more than our script. Our marketing, our scripts really introduce us. We can be big and flashy with our marketing, but our systems and our tone define us. So when we serve the heart and guide with clarity, we don't just close the deals, we build relationships that last a lifetime. So calm and confident is better than fast and flashy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Why do the turtles always beat the rabbits? I don't know, man. Always.
Slow and steady wins the race. So our role is to protect equity and peace of mind, and I'm sure you all get this a lot of times when we're talking with sellers, especially around the first time. Did I just do something?
No, that was.
Okay.
You're doing great.
You that I clear.
So this is what I always tell sellers, and I don't typically use those words specifically, but my job is to protect three things: your equity, your time, and your peace of mind.
Mm.
You know, sometimes I'll put it out there, hey, you know, my job is to help you get the most money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of stress possible. There's another way to say it. When you say something like that with confidence, the sellers feel better about things, and you're no longer just a salesperson. You're a trusted advisor, and that's what they need and that's what they want. Questions on any of that?
Yeah, Pam,
Yes.
do you find in your experience that when you say sellers, and let's say, I instantly think of that person that's selling their house for the first time, but let's say they get to the second time, right, or third house they're selling maybe. Have you found that even with experience, sellers still have anxiety, they still have all these concerns? I mean, even experienced sellers still,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you know, most homeowners are in their home for 7 to 10 years on average, sometimes maybe for a little longer. So it's been a lot of years. And remember, this is a huge emotional thing. So when they went through that 7, 10 years ago, it's all a blur. And remembering, you know, all the little things from back then. And times have changed, so things have changed and how we operate, and contracts have changed. And so yes, they still feel those same emotions.
And the market's changed too.
And the market's changed, yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
Yeah. So first seller call, you get a lead that comes in and you're gonna call your damn leads, right?
Yay, it's a chant. Oh, damn, please.
I really try to avoid talking about numbers when I first meet with a seller, whether I'm meeting them in person or on the phone. But I affirm them, right? So thanks for reaching out. I'm excited to learn more about your plans and how you get through this. Remember, the first call isn't about, and shouldn't be about data. It should be about conversations and connections. You want to discover their motivation and their timing. You know, don't say, oh, are you selling your house? We want to dive in a little bit deeper and find out what's prompting their move. And what is your ideal time frame? What are when are you looking to be out of your home? Ask those questions. A lot of those questions we went through with exactly what to say. When you do that, that gives them ownership and opens up the door for that emotional connection, and they'll just start talking. That's what I found. Just start talking, and I listen. You get through that, you'll set up the next steps very confidently, right? Don't leave it ambiguous. You don't want things hanging in the air. You want to end with clear action and time. Hey, I'll send you a prep guide, and we'll meet on Thursday at 4 p.m. to go over pricing and strategy. Leaders set next steps. Agents wait for them, and we want to be leaders.
What's your prep guide?
Hmm?
You mentioned I'll send you a prep guide. What do you send?
So I do it a couple of different ways. This is my fun little envelope that says, hello, I'm here. And inside of it, I put my book, which you've probably all seen.
Yep.
Right? So I just send that out to them, and there's a lot of good information in this book for them to read and go through. But sometimes I'll run out and just drop, this is my sample one, so it's not the best. I'll drop off my seller guide. I'll just leave it for them. I could pop it in the mail, but A lot of times they're close in my neighborhood, so I'll just drop it off. But in that, in my seller guide, I just have a little bit about me. And still more about me. And then the process. What they need to go through, the roadmap. Meet with your agent, prepare to list, and it's got bullet points. Just kind of walks them through, right? Factors that affect the market, pricing, before listing, things they can do to prepare before listing. So it's a pretty hefty book that I've created. I should say I didn't necessarily create it. I bought one off of Etsy and then changed it to fit me. Because why reinvent the wheel when I can pay $10 for this and then have it? And I have one for buyers as well.
So that seems almost like it's what I go in with as my listing presentation. So if they look that over ahead of time rather than me going over it, that would save me a ton of time.
Yep.
Because yeah, I find that my listing appointments, I mean, it can be 2.5 hours.
Yes, yeah. And this saves a lot of time because they've already gone through it, and you can ask them, is there anything in particular that you wanted to talk about in there, or anything you want to go over? So I would highly recommend doing a seller's guide and a buyer's guide too. Because they may also be buying, right? Or we have buyers, just buyers. And so that's really, really helpful.
This is so good, Pam. I have some questions on
Yes.
that really quickly. I'm gonna just stay in that marketing piece for 1 second. So really quickly, as you walk through there, I know you just opened it, you start out with you, about me, to introduce yourself, and then you move into, obviously that's a seller's. How do you start that, and what's the,
I'm not sure.
just curious how that starts, and then it moves into information. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yes, yep.
Yep.
Like the first page that says, hello, I'm Pam Rezac,
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of pages that talk about me. In the back too, I put in what to expect from me. Great communication, honesty and transparency.
Yeah.
Integrity and respect, local market knowledge. I put client testimonials in there, just 3 of them.
Yeah, thanks for showing that. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so I kind of start with me, go into the meat of stuff, and then I kind of end with me.
Okay.
And is that something like that you have professionally bound, or is that something?
No, I bought a heat binder.
Oh.
I was just looking last night, I need to order, because I'm all out of clear covers. And this is just my sample. So that doesn't really look great. So I need to get more clear so you can see right through.
Gotcha, yep.
Yeah. Pretty inexpensive, I think I paid
That's what I was gonna ask next.
under $150
Really?
for the binder and a whole slew of covers,
Yeah.
different sizes.
I'm just gonna toss this out for Becca, because he probably wouldn't know this, and maybe Riley wouldn't either, but we have a heat binder here, so you wouldn't need to buy your own.
Oh, yeah.
It could be convenient for you, but there is one in the resource room. But if you don't have the covers, you can get them at the front desk. They have different covers than Pam does, but you could buy those on your own.
Yeah.
And not have to actually buy the heat binder as
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah.
options.
Yeah, they come in all different sizes, so depending on how many pages you have, different colors, blues, blacks, white.
Yeah, and I think the ones at the front desk that they offer are like more of a hardcover.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Which is a
I
nice
personally-
presentation.
Yeah, I personally don't use them, I've never used them, I have nothing against them, that's not how I started things out, so I just haven't changed.
Sure.
But I know people who do, you go to the listing appointment and sellers are like, wow, and they're like, I can keep this is for me, and they just are like blown away at how professional and,
They look
You know,
really, really
yeah.
nice.
It wins them over.
Yeah.
And you
so
stand out.
why I
in their
haven't
mind.
changed to that, I don't know, but.
That's
You
excellent,
know,
Pam.
another thing that's nice with those hard covers is when you close on a transaction, you can put together a little book of their photos of their home that they're moving out of,
Sure.
just something for them to.
That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah.
And one last piece, Mike.
Yes.
The bag. Your, hello, I'm here, yeah. Yo sack. Yeah. Where did you get that and what?
Amazon.
Yep, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
I just fold it over and I go to the post office.
Yep.
Very long.
And you mailed that to them when? I'm sorry.
Well, I mailed one out last week. I had a conversation with a woman last week
Sure.
and mailed that out to her. So now, this afternoon, I'll reach out to her and
Yeah.
make sure she got the book.
Yeah.
And set that meeting with her.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, great.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. So then we have to talk about the pricing strategy with sellers, right? And I don't know, like, what you've found as agents, a lot of times sellers think their house is worth XXX and it's only worth XX, right? The value is only XX. So we have to talk to them about that. Buyers, when they're searching for a home, are looking between certain prices, right? This little band, I'm looking between 200 and 300,000. So we need to make sure that we're telling the sellers, they're searching from 350 to 400K as my example there. We need them to see you. And then back it up with your comps. You're gonna bring comps along. I always bring a really nice thick packet, print out all their photos so they can see the comparison of their home with those comps. Talk to them about those first 10 days being our leverage window. If we're pricing too high, the longer that house sits on the market, right? The longer it's gonna sit. And then talk to them about positioning ourselves to create that demand. We need to create competition. Competition is what pushes those prices. Right? When buyers compete, the prices naturally rise. So we have to talk to them about all of that stuff. And then a launch strategy. What are we going to do for them for marketing? Professional photos and prep. I don't list with phone photos, ever, ever. We've all seen it. We've all seen it. Ugh. We stage, we prep, we do the photography. I don't do the photography, I hire a professional, you wouldn't want me to do it. But you want that home to enter onto the market like it's entering into the spotlight. We want that home to shine. We want it to be the star of the MLS when we get out there, right? And we have to do a lifestyle storytelling on it. The listing descriptions. Agent notes, you put in whatever you're gonna put in. Sometimes I see agents that put in the same agent notes as the buyer notes. It's like, I don't need all that fluff twice. We don't have to put in that listing description that it's a 2-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage home, because they already know that. It's right there. We don't need to go into that. We need to tell a story, right? It's a great space to host Sunday mornings and family dinners, or imagine having your coffee on the deck overlooking the lake. Get that emotional language going. Emotional language sells emotional decisions. Chat does a really, really good job of listing descriptions. However, chat can go overboard too. Chat, and since the MLS has now opened up our number of characters to 4,000, yeah, you want to shoot yourself in the head when you see some of those, like, oh,
It's too much.
So I do use chat a lot for that, but I go through and I really fine tune it. I mean, sometimes chat will add in things that the house doesn't even have, right? So make sure if you're using chat, you're going through cleaning it up and making it sound like you. You're the one that knows it. Pull out those M dashes, because we all know ChatGPT is good at M dashes. And you see a lot of those M dashes.
What do you mean by M dash?
It's like the little dash, so like the dash in
We don't
between.
buy walls,
Like here,
they buy
buyers don't buy
life.
walls,
Okay.
they buy a life.
Gotcha.
You start seeing a lot of those because chat does a lot of
I
those.
do a lot of that on my own too. But I've gone back and forth between when I read a listing description, the people who make it all fancy schmancy and set this tone and whatever. And in my mind, I'm kind of like, I just want to know, like, if there's updated HVAC. And, you know, I like to put the facts in there.
Yeah.
But I can totally see, he's asking questions already and I'm still talking. Anyway, I can totally see where, you know, you wanna, you know, paint the picture and be more emotional about it. But yes, to your point, sometimes you're just like, okay, do the chat GPT, but then pare it down a little bit. I mean, it's a little ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, when it's a paragraph this long on the printout,
Yeah.
maybe buyers probably read it, but I don't. I don't have the patience for
I
that.
honestly don't know if buyers will read too, it needs to be that long.
Yes.
Because just the way we are as human
Yes.
beings in the world today, we are very short attention spans.
If you're gonna use chat, you need to put some facts in there. And then you want to ask it to build a most likely buyer profile. So based on the fact this is this house, this price, in this area, who is the most likely buyer? And maybe, you know, if it has some special feature, include that. And then say build your, essentially your story based on that profile. And it'll give you a much different thing. I think to your point, Kelly, that you have to consider, still going back to that same premise, you have to consider the buyer. And if your house isn't super homey, then you probably better stick to the facts, right?
Yeah.
But the person who's inclined to buy, you know, maybe a $600,000-$700,000 house in this particular market, they're not gonna be as fact-based. I mean, they'll wanna know the facts, but they're the person who's likely to be lured in by the storytelling. If I'm looking at a house that's priced at, in this market specifically, $220, I'm gonna wanna know about the HVAC, I wanna know about the roof, I wanna know, because those things are likely a challenge. And if they're good in this market, then that is the story.
Yes.
So
That's
I
good.
think you really gotta target that to the buyer.
Buyer.
The likely buyer of the house, right? And so using chat to help modify that can certainly help. And I love what you're talking about there, because emotion language is what makes the emotional decision happen. And it really goes along with all the stuff that, I mean, this is fantastic right here. This is really good. I mean, if you're here today, this page right here is probably one of the best things you're gonna take away, in my opinion, right off the bat. I haven't seen the rest of it, so maybe there's even better stuff, but this is phenomenal.
There's only a total of 8 pages, so.
But I think that's important thing what Jason was saying, that step one, if you're using chat GPT, is input the facts of the house.
Yeah,
Just the facts, and ask who the likely buyer is. And then step two would be creating a listing description for that buyer.
yeah, and I've always just done the facts and never thought about doing the buyer, so I like that idea, I'll start using that.
And then Kelly, that's worked for you. When you put in HVAC is updated, brand new.
I mean,
it didn't-
my stuff used to sell, so I guess, you
Yeah,
know, at the,
yeah,
you know, when I have started, putting into ChatGPT and getting more of the, I wouldn't have thought to phrase it that way, but I definitely do pare it down, and some of the, fans, it's like, no, this is not that house, so.
Yeah.
But I have started to do more of the emotional stuff, or not even necessarily emotional, but just, I guess, emotional, painting a picture a little bit versus A, B, and C.
So you actually, you're discerning with your chat, right? Like, so chat will come up with a grandiose description, but if it doesn't actually match that
Right.
house, then that's
And my
excellent.
personal
Yeah.
style as well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have, something that's using all these, and I see people who do.
Yeah.
You read these listing descriptions and you're like,
You didn't
okay,
write that.
yeah, you did not, and
Yeah.
that word, come on, that is like this,
Yeah.
$5 word, as they say in a
Yeah.
country song, that you don't
Okay.
need.
if you're gonna follow that ChatGPT rabbit hole, and you do develop a profile for the likely buyer, it's good to ask ChatGPT to then also say something along the lines of, what would be the best way to market to this client, this potential client, ask it that next question. Because again, I think that's if you really want to be good at ChatGPT, just ask it the next question. And how do I market to that particular client? So it'll give you some other ideas. And if you then follow that suggestion, right, then I think the next question, because there's always a next question, is how do I capture the marketing job I've done for this house so that I can then project it to other sellers, right? So if you do something unique to market this particular house, what should I do to be able to capture that information so that I can then like maybe do a TikTok or a video to say, hey sellers, I had this house, this is how I marketed it, and this was the result, right? Versus sold 260.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And so just again, taking that one more step each time, you'd be amazed at what that will come up with.
I need to start doing that.
That's great.
I need to also learn TikTok.
And
Well, I don't necessarily recommend TikTok because there aren't a lot of house buyers on TikTok.
you're good
But
on Facebook and
Instagram,
stick with what you're.
Instagram and
good with.
Facebook is where you're gonna find most of your buyers. I mean, the average age of the buyers has shot up, and that means that, you can get a TikTok, but that's a 10-year bet.
Okay, well then I'll skip TikTok. And we need to talk to them too about,
That's great, Jason.
our marketing as far as like letting them know, most homes sell because another agent brought the buyer, right? So, yes, we go online, we market it through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok if you do that. But we also strategically notify agents who sell in that particular area. We can put blasts out to them, broker opens, things like that, right? So then when it comes to objections, what do we need to do? Acknowledge, go back. Acknowledge, align, and advise, right? So objections are not rejection. They're just requests for leadership. Just some guidance. I understand. We have the same goal. I just put in here, kind of what I say to people, I completely understand that. You want top dollar and a smooth sale. What truly protects your equity is strategy, pricing to create competition, presenting your home beautifully, and managing every detail with care. That's how we get you the best outcome without the stress. Being prepared ahead of time. So just a little example of that. I get this a lot. We want to price it at, in my area, the average home price is $350. Well, we want to price it at $400. We want to start higher. We can always come down. How often have you heard that? I hear it a lot. And I get it. Every seller wants to protect their upside, their equity. The challenge is the buyers who would love your home will never see it. And I think that's where Jason's thing comes into. Let's find out what kind of buyers we're looking for, right? I want you in the price band where the most buyers are hungry. Another thing that's really important to do is give your sellers a weekly update. It's so important. All the showings and feedback and what those themes on the feedback might be. Oh, I smell cigarette smoke, I smell cigarette smoke, I smell cat pee, I smell cat pee, We need to let them know about these things. If you're not giving them feedback, they're just out there hanging out there, not knowing what's going on. They get worried, they get anxious. We need to keep them aware of what's going on. So now maybe they haven't been getting any showings or not many showings. Yeah, the market's slow right now. Yeah, it's everywhere. What does that mean? Go back out. Show them any new listings that have come up that are comparable. You know, this is just an example. Oh, there's one that went pending. We won't know what it actually sold for until it closes. But keep that comparable activity steady. So because as the market changes, we need to keep them aware of those changes. And then we can talk to them about the next steps and what their options are. So every update will end with an option. Options equal control, control equals calm. Now what could some of those options be? We're not getting many showings. Here's some new comps. Maybe we need to talk about the price and bringing that down and what that looks like. I've got, just kind of as an example, a townhome right now that's on withheld. We were active on the market, went under contract within the first week it was on, contingent on the sale of the buyer's property. We waited 2 months, and buyers couldn't sell their property. So, you know, we just kept in touch, and then the last conversation I had with her was, you know, my recommendation, we called the contingency. Went back active. No activity whatsoever. So I talked to her last week, and, you know, I said, here's our options. We can cancel and relist so it comes back up as a fresh brand new listing, because now it's showing 3 months on the market. We can just keep it going active like it is, but that hasn't been doing us any good. Or we could just pull it off the market for a little while, TNAPS it, and do a couple of those updates we talked about in the beginning. Get rid of that mint green paint. I'll even come and help you paint.
I object to that. I like
Mint.
It's a pretty bright mint.
Well, you're right.
So that's what we did. We put it in, she opted to TNAPS it for a while, so she could get some painting done. Some lights under, because the showings we did have, ceiling fan in the living room had no lights, so she's gonna add lights to that. Because that was a lot of, there's no light on the ceiling fan. We give them those options and talk it through with them. This is my final thought, but when we're done and we're done with any questions that might be online, when we're all done, I do want to, I have an ask of you all that is not real estate related, but it's very important to me. So don't run out of the room when we're done. Remember, you don't just list homes, you lead people. It isn't about houses. It's about humans in transition, right? We're making big moves. And we have to remember that. We have to serve with our heart, guide with clarity. Your systems and tone matter more than your marketing. Marketing goes away, but they'll always remember you for how you handled the sale of their home, the purchase of their new home, how you made them feel. This is my tagline, results that move you, but it really isn't just a tagline, that's my promise.
Nice.
So if you have something like that, you can tie into it. Go in, be your authentic self. We have, I have a former colleague at Edina. When I first started, he was always like, well, just fake it till you make it, just fake it till you make it. No, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when somebody's being fake. Who wants to work with somebody like that? I don't.
I don't.
I don't.
Jamie does, though.
It depends.
You probably have a lot of time on it.
No, not really.
No, you've been talking, and I have a question to help you fill this time.
Okay.
I am particularly moved with this, your systems and your tone matter more than your marketing. Because all of the pretty can fade away,
Yeah.
or be it, there's other agents will have, lots of agents gonna have marketing and things like that, but that's those systems in your tone. And then if I am early starting out and I can't afford the bag, and I don't have someone who can make the nice magazine, then I get to rely on me. And so I know Jason talks a lot about, he said on Saturday that you're the best you there is, nobody can do you like you.
Right.
And that just really stuck with me for the rest of the weekend. Like, wow,
That's nice.
yeah, you're the best you there is, and nobody can do you like you. So that genuine piece is so very important. It is gonna matter much more than the marketing, much more than all the pretty and
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I appreciate that a lot.
You know,
I do.
when you, as far as the expense, the book was a little more expensive because I had to pay to have it printed, and then it costs almost $5 to ship it out. So I get that can be a little expensive. But, you know, doing a guide like this, and now that we know that Keller has a heat binder,
Right, right.
and I was just looking on last night to order some new covers from Clear, and I am one of the cheapest people you will ever meet. I love spending money, but I hate spending money.
Yep.
I want to do things as not cheap, but
Right.
as inexpensively as I can. And I found one that I'll probably order today, where you could get the covers, they came out to about 75 cents a piece.
Sure.
You know, and I do buy a specialty paper. You don't have to do that. But I think this is good because you go out and Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and we're all done today. I'm going to leave this with you. You know, go through it. Let me know if you have any questions. Give me a call. I'll check back in with you in a couple of days, or let's meet on Thursday at 4. Whatever it is that you're going to say, it's right there for them. It's got your name. It's got your number. It's got all the stuff. So if they're really sitting on the fence about selling, maybe they just want to get information now because they're going to sell in 6 months. That's the plan. Of course, you're going to keep in contact with them, right? So they don't forget about you. But if they've got that there,
Yeah.
they're coming back to you.
But ultimately, they got you.
Yeah.
Right, your tone, the
Right.
system, yeah, ultimately what impacts is you.
Right.
The other
That
thing I
really
think
sticks
we
with me.
often talk about is scale. So when it comes to expense, you can do a lot of the same stuff, you know what I mean, in scale, in a scaling mechanism. This, I promise, and I'm just guessing, but I'm making a very strong bet here, as in I'm willing to bet my entire paycheck almost, that Pam did not show up to her first listing appointment with a book like that.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of scalability in there,
That's what I
depending on
mean.
where you're at.
Right.
As in, but the idea, the fact that I could go onto Canva right now and design that for myself, if
Yes.
I wanted to, and I could deliver that to a client
Yeah.
in an envelope or a basic folder
Yeah.
right now before the listing appointment, and just say, hey, I'm prepped for our listing appointment, so I don't spend any postage,
Yeah.
I mean, I can get that cost way down, and then as I grow my business,
Yes.
have more space to go, all right, I'm starting to get meetings and I'm competing with other agents, and I need to differentiate myself. Now I'm in that space,
Now I'm in that space.
right? And I
Yeah.
keep growing that into there.
Yeah.
But the point is still the same, that having that silent salesman,
Yes.
if you will, there is going to be infinitely helpful.
Yeah.
For clients, because not everybody wants to sell their house. As I often say, hey, Pam, I'd like to sell my house. And that's never the end of the statement. There's always a comma and then a continuation that says next year after, or
Right.
next season, or whatever. But there's always a comma
Yep.
following that.
Sure. Appreciate that.
And yeah, and when I started, I didn't show up at listing appointments with a seller's guide. I'd go in with a CMA, the best I could do, you know, with the spiral binders.
Yep.
You know, which are fine
Yep.
too. There's some nice spiral binders out there too, but I would show up with that, but that's all I knew. I didn't have anybody to help me and guide me, and that's why I kind of like this.
That's why I'm saying what they got is genuine Pam. Great, the tone and information and yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I really
And I'll be
appreciate it.
honest, my tone sometimes changes a little bit depending on who I'm visiting with,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
You know, if I'm working with the guy that's the 22, 23-year-old guy who's a welder, he's got a way different personality than the vice president of the local bank.
Mhm.
So you kind of gotta be a little bit of a chameleon, but still be true to yourself.
Sure.
So Pam, when you go to a listing appointment, so like I said, you know, what you have in that binder is essentially what I have, and it's funny, the things you kind of pointed out in there are like, yep, that's exactly what mine says too. So if I can skip that step and send that ahead of time and trust that they've gone through it and whatever, so what does your listing appointment look like then? Because then obviously you're skipping that whole step of, you know, going through all of it. I mean, maybe you say, do you have any questions or anything?
You know, go through it
just-
a little bit, but basically like any other listing appointment without going into
Yeah,
depth, I
so
don't,
just-
that could take a lot of time.
Jump into comps and stuff like that a little bit?
I usually ask for a tour of the home first.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So that I can see things, so now I've got these comps.
Yeah.
You know, and see how, and I take notes as I'm going through.
Yeah.
And I also take notes as I'm going through, not only on the features of the home, but, oh, there's not a smoke detector in this bedroom. Make note of that.
Mm.
So when we talk about the prep work, hey, I noticed you didn't have a smoke detector, that's cool, we've got to get one in there.
Do you take pictures as you do the walkthrough too? I always do.
Do you? I don't.
Because, and I always say to them, I'm like, these are for me only, so that when I leave here, if I'm, you know, when I go back to look at comps again, I'm not gonna remember what all, you know, all the details, so it helps me to, yeah, and that place, the people I met with last night for the second time, I don't know how many times I've looked through their photos and gone, okay, their bathroom is updated, okay, that's good. You know, and just to,
Yeah. And you
yeah,
haven't had
I always, no one,
Nice.
only,
That's nice
only
to
one-
share that.
one person has ever said something about, you know, and I don't even remember what the reason they gave was, that they preferred I didn't. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. So I just, you know,
That's a really good idea.
but otherwise, I always take photos and then I email them to myself from my phone and download them and then put them in their electronic file. So I've got a folder for photos and then I've got a photo within that for iPhone for the photos that I've taken, because I don't want them mixed up with the
Right.
professional photos, which to your, you know, like you said too, always professional photos. But no, I always take photos.
Wow.
So I can look back, because
That's a
You
really,
can't remember all
really
that,
good
yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Nice, that was nice of you to share that. Yeah. Nice.
and they're not pretty. I mean, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
snapping them, and
Yeah.
half the time my pen is sticking up in the, you know, in the picture too, because I've got it in that same hand, or, you know, there's sometimes they're blurry or whatever, but.
That makes a lot of sense, because it's hard to remember when you go back. And sometimes, you know, if they're ready to list right then, we'll work on setting that price. But if they're not, I let them know that, you know, this is a snapshot of now, but if you're gonna wait till 3 months, 6
Yeah.
months,
We'll
the
have to
snapshot's gonna be
revisit.
different.
Mhm.
So, you know, you need to let them know that, because, you know, gosh, I listed a home for $475 and that's where it comped out at,
Mhm.
but by the time we actually sold it, those comps were down to $450.
Yep.
475 is a pretty high number if you're like,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know, unless you're of a legacy, and this was not a
Uh-huh.
legacy, so. Or Grand Old Victoria or something.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any questions online, Mr. Jamie?
They're a little quiet, a little nice.
We are quiet.
This is they're making toast.
Well,
Sounds great.
if we don't have any questions, I do want to do my ask of all of you and those of you online. And if you could share my ask with others, I would appreciate it. This is a tough one. This is Kenzie Mae Leonardo, 11 years old, 6th grade. If you have kids that are in school, please talk to them about bullying. Kenzie Mae, at 11 years old, took her own life last week. She is the granddaughter and daughter of some former colleagues of mine, and he died in Wiltie. Bullying is not okay. This was the hardest service I've ever attended in my entire life. So please, if you've got kids or you have friends that have kids that are in school, talk to them about bullying and how it's not okay, because this was really hard. That's just my ask.
And I would also say that for us older people, whatever that means,
I mean,
today's kids have access to social media,
yeah,
and you could always go home when we were kids.
yeah,
And it stopped.
yeah,
Social media does not allow for that cessation.
right,
Even if it doesn't grow beyond the space of the people, it's still with you at home in a way that what we experienced did not travel. I mean,
right, right,
when we went home, that was
done.
it for the day.
yep.
Unless you were playing it in your mind, but in social media,
It's
it can
out there
continue to go
forever.
on.
Yeah.
And so
Out there forever,
it's just a
and,
different ballgame for people today.
It's easier to be harsh when you can't.
Right, right, and kids,
And if you do it in face, there's a chance someone will stick up for them. Social media.
kids just don't get it, but that's the, I have a girlfriend who used to work with when I worked at Sun Country. 2 years ago, her 16-year-old took his own life due to bullying. And in 2017, another friend of mine, who was one of our vendors at Sun Country, his 15-year-old took his own life due to bullying. So it's just, it's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. That's all I have.
Fantastic information. Fantastic.
Thank you. And I don't know how to
Do it
get that
again,
up
do it again.
What's the comment, Gene? Is that from Maria saying Pam did a great job?
Yeah, amazing job, Pam.
I didn't want to interrupt anything, but Pam, that was amazing. Thank you. I just,
Good information.
I love getting perspectives, and you had some fantastic reminders to me.
And pastries.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, I missed that. Hopefully I get in this afternoon. There might be a half of one left for me, so.
No way.
Nope.
Ain't no chance.
Dang it. Pam, thank you for putting yourself out there and doing the class for us.
My favorite.
I like getting to collaborate with others and because everybody's got something to share. Right, right. Up by this?
Yeah, just like I like.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well for Grace. She's gonna put that on
Sorry,
KWPR, of course.
Exactly.
1,
Yeah, looks
2,
good.
3.
Stay there as well, please.
Stay there.
Stay there.
Don't move yet.
Right? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna come up a little closer. I'm gonna go up this angle here.
Wait.
Quit screwing around. This is. Don't show
The
all
light is a little off.
Yeah, the light is a little off. Yeah, yeah.
When you get
Oh,
back closer.
Yeah, it's just off a little bit.
Yeah, so you might want her underneath this light at an angle to get an idea. Does that make sense?
I think it's a little brighter on this side.
I like it's more dull over here, which is actually good.
Yeah.
So that I can get your face. Yeah, that works out better. Much better. There you go.
Never home
Perfect.
pastry.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah, take one of me with a pastry, because I'm gonna,
Should get her hold, yeah.
I'm
hold
gonna
the
do a
box.
small business highlight.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
So I'm gonna move your, whatever that is,
Okay.
and what do I want?
Rah!
Oh,
Okay.
my.
I don't know what a concha is, so I'm gonna cut one of these conchas in half.
Oh, man. My workout kicked my butt this morning. Like,
Okay, so I need to do this. Bye there,
am I
Bob.
recording or am
No,
I
just
taking
take
a
a
picture?
picture.
Okay. Hold on one second. You want to do it
Pam, can I take a look at your,
Yeah, I was coming to do that too.
Yeah.
the thing that you shared?
It's not my final version.
Mhm.
Tear down some of the about me and.
Do you just print this yourself then too on this paper? Okay.
Yeah, when I came over to Keller, knowing I'd be working from home a lot,
Yeah.
for printing, I just went out, bought a laser printer and. So there's things in that, or have taken out.
Oh, cream cheese. Yeah, I'm like, what's in there?
This is really
Surprise.
just like a bread.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sweet and yummy.
We need to make Riley have questions.
Questions.
Make up some questions, Riley.
What? So you just order this?
Oh, it's Jamie's idea, I would put you like that.
Tweaked it.
You put me on the spot like that, Jamie.
Yeah.
Sure.
Had a whole
To kind
hour.
of fit our market versus.
Right.
Yes, but I've been eating McPastry.
That's pretty easy to do, and I can get
Good
10 or
answer.
15 bucks. I mean, could I go to Canva and create it? Sure. But for 10 or 15 bucks?
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
You want the athlete. Then tell me your process.
Fiverr is another
I just
good
typed in
example.
seller
Yeah.
guide- Seller's guide at Etsy, came up with a bunch, I kind of glanced through and I really like that one.
Seller's guide, athlete, okay.
And, they also had a buyer's guide that matches that, so I have a buyer's guide. And then I just upload it or download it or however, and they send me the file, electronic file, and you can open it up in Canva and just edit it.
Right here, what is it called?
Oh, I don't know, I just did,
Will you send me the link and where?
yeah, they come in different colors. So, yeah, they have pink ones, and then, but I also got some in fall colors, like green and orange color. Yes.
Send me the link.
Yeah.
From that.
Oh my God. this is good.
Well, even the thing that I had, I don't know what you can call it, but yeah, it's just super, just soft and fresh.
How was yours?
Thanks for coming, Erica. Say hello to Erica.
Hi.
Hello there.
Hi and goodbye, Erica.
Hello. Bye.
Hi, what?
You can't see her. She's
Okay.
up there. She's in the satellite.
She's in the cloud.
Well, something like that. But great having you on today. And like I said in the text, look forward to working with you as you get your license here in the next couple of days and
Yeah.
get you moving.
Woohoo! Nice.
Nice.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You bet. Have a good one, Erica.